Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, and
Goodbye.
somewhere in between, wherever you are. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to BeoTalk number 387.
87. Yeah,
Uh, let's do some shilling.
let's do that.
I need to get the right thing up. Go over to our friends at Skinny Play, buy yourself a cover for like an A9. Get Willie's face for an extra discount.
Oh yeah, so worth it.
Well, maybe you're a super fan of the show. I don't know.
Can't believe that's still a thing, bro. It's been like years. You're still grinding it.
Well, you sent pictures of yourself on the beach. I kind of put it out on you.
hmm Yeah.
um, Go over to our friends over at the Greeno Studios. Same deal. Use the promo code for 10% off. Links are also in the description, but also in chat. So whatever works for you. Steve is open again, so buy some cables at soundsheavenly.com or .co.uk, whichever you prefer. Mostly works in Europe. You have to be on first name basis if you're anywhere else, I think, because of all these tariffs and imports and nonsense. It takes forever to send anything this way.
Indeed, it does.
So there's that. And buy Willie a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/BeoWillie. That will be our super chat for the foreseeable future because they take next to no cut compared to YouTube. And
It works.
yeah,
Speaking of, I guess the buy me a coffee thing. Thanks to Jared's Place of Music. It's the second time he's sent some coffees, and he does it usually like very late because I think he is actually from Australia. So thanks, legends. Keep up the great work. This podcast is keeping me company on a quiet day at work. So hopefully,
well, good morning in that case because it's
then
Monday
exactly.
morning, I think, in Australia.
Oh shit! You're already in the grind when you did that. Oh, it feels bad.
I think
I
we
can't.
like for Sydney time, our live time is 5 or 6 a.m., something like that.
I think so.
So sorry, Aussies.
Yeah, you guys are well. Somebody's got to be early, right?
Yeah.
And somebody's got to be really late.
Yeah.
But
If you haven't yet already, come join our Discord. It's
but the 2 o'clock for me works better than noon back in the yesteryears of Calgary, right? With the shift in time.
yeah, same. I
So,
mean, we're still kind of on European time. I guess that's where most
people
BNO
says,
fans are.
well, we're growing in America a little bit, I guess. So
Let's hope so. I mean, now BNO just needs to get all these sales going that are currently going in Europe.
hmm yeah, I've got some emails that there's some offers, even like Quebec Sun. I guess they're matching whatever they can, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's the only way to get out of this huge price point markup. That like sell combos at a decent price. That's my take on it.
Well,
Because
it's
they need cash flow. They need
yeah.
the things moving.
Where am I? Let's see.
Scroll. But yeah,
Because I mean, even on the smaller stuff, right? I don't think they're necessarily combo deals, but like you can get an A5 for like €1,280, down from 1,600, which is kind of nice.
hmm yeah, and Emerge also went down in price, right? Yeah, the Beolit. That's the same email I got from the Quebec Sun. I think it's more or less for U.S. market as well,
I mean, this
or at least they're making it for their market here.
wasn't this the original price for the Emerge when it
I think
launched?
so.
Wasn't that 750?
I think so. Or 699 for the black one. or $649 for the black one. I don't remember, but yeah, it was something around there.
I mean, Explorers are on sale. Like,
Yeah, that's the same email I got exactly.
so
Can't believe they still show the Ferrari, even though it's no longer, nobody has it, or maybe they have stock of it.
let's see, maybe it's online only. Seems like it's online.
Mm.
I mean, I guess dealers gave up on having that in stock.
Yeah, it's what's the point? Not that I'm saying stuff because I have one, but it's more or less for the collection of it than anything else. But because it's a Ferrari one, it's very preventative to where you take it, right? Like I'm debating maybe I'll buy me a silver one just so I can throw it in the bag to the side pocket and bring it to the job site. Because this, I wouldn't have the heart for it.
I mean, this sale runs until what, like 3 weeks from now or something like that.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I kind of maybe want to get this one because this one is nice.
It is very unique. I just wish those stripes went downwards instead of sideways. You know what I mean? But I guess that's even harder to do it sideways, unified than just down.
I mean, I still like the Ferrari one as well from the BeoSound 2. I thought that was the best Ferrari version of anything B&O did. But like, it's the price, man. It's I'm not sure this is a $5,000 investment.
For that, I would just get a bespoke or atelier, whichever category it falls to, and get the polished aluminium one, like Beo Remote One polished. You know what I'm saying?
So you get a funhouse mirror.
Yeah, exactly. It would be like a funhouse mirror. It would look cool.
Every time you walk by, it's like, ooh, I should lose some weight.
It would be more or less like gain some because it's slimming, right? The other way would be, or no, yeah, I guess it would stretch you up. Never mind. But yeah, that's I like that, but it's still, I don't know, that sideways striking kind of or striping. It's not up my alley of OCD. The opposite. I'm still waiting on double confirmation that they're gonna do a polished ring on my Halo with the walnut.
Could be stage also back on the site in Denmark. Interesting. Maybe they found out they have some more stock left over than they thought they did.
Interesting. Well, they killed the Contour with discontinuing the stage, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's in the Netherlands as well. Interesting. It does all say low in stock, other than the really expensive one. Well,
which one? The oak?
The smoked oak is low in stock. The aluminium one is low in stock. The gold tone, the black anthracite, is apparently normally available. I mean, if you want one, by now is the time to get it, because this won't be long for this world.
No. And it's a great product, honestly. Like, I've worked with it. I worked on it. It's very well engineered. It sounds great. But, it serves a single purpose, where this does not. Premiere is a little more.
God, this price is so much more reasonable now.
Yeah, it is.
What's when
you put the grillage on it? What is it with the woods?
5,000.
5Gs.
Yeah.
42 with the cloth, and then $5,000 again for the smoked oak.
I guess I would buy the fabric just in case. Not even sure if I would necessarily use it.
Problem is that fabric basically kills the effect of that LED light, right? For the volume. Which, do you really care for that? And I still don't think that the way that they've designed it, how it rises up, it shouldn't be the way it is. It should be going, I think, from the center to the very edges to the full volume.
Yeah, either way, or from the
Right.
edge in, right? Like whichever
Yeah,
is fine.
but
Didn't
it
the
just doesn't make sense to go
BV11 or
across.
14 used to do volume like that? Like it was at the top and it went wider, right? Or
Oh, which TV did that, bro?
I thought it was BV14.
Yes, it was BB14. Exactly. The gray bar just went expanded.
Yeah. I mean, this price does make it way more interesting, though.
Yes.
It is sort of like,
Which room? Guest room?
Bedroom.
You've convinced Megan that you're gonna hang the stage in the office?
No, I haven't convinced her of anything yet.
Oh Christ! When you don't have enough rooms for all the stuff that comes out.
I mean, it does kind of screw me a little bit because then I would take these down again and put.
Oh, I know. I didn't want to say it, but I knew that was coming. Or buy another pair.
Oh, good God, that definitely won't fly.
Get the 28s in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh shit. But yeah, this thing is cool.
I mean, I would put something in the kitchen, but I don't have any wall space anymore, really, in the kitchen. Unless it's
you have
right
a BeoSound 1 in the kitchen already.
Yeah, I have a BeoSound 2, but like...
Or BeoSound 2, sorry, yeah.
The only wall space I have is either right next to the sink, right, which is shit, because like you're just going to make it wet, whatever it is.
Yeah, but then you have one A5 right by the window to the sink.
Yeah, but that is like...
Oh, God.
It's too far.
Oh, God. And then you have a halo in the kitchen. So shut up, man. There's too much. You can't.
Yeah. I mean, I am thinking of semi-retiring my first Beo remote and just hanging it next to the stove on a wall bracket.
That's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad idea. I have, like, the sacrificial one, right? This one gets put down hard and whatever. And then I have a couple anthracites. And then I have the yellow one for the Lego room.
Yeah.
In Lego yellow that I painted. And then I have a silk one for the bedroom. But that one doesn't get damaged because it's usually either on the bed or on the wall bracket or on the nightstand. But what I found over time that the wall bracket will eat on the corners of the aluminum, of the anodizing. It does leave marks or eats away on it.
Yeah, but I would mean for
so
that
over
one
time,
particularly, I wouldn't really take it off the wall.
No.
It's just be volume up, down, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have a halo in the kitchen, but it's like you have to walk over to it. Like these are such first world problems, right? Like, those 4 or 5 steps, like,
What you're listening to now is essentially a real try-hard justification to get more gear in the house somehow, as we have Premiere page on the page. Oh, shoot. I do like that Premiere. I have to say. I also thought about, I think that the Avant shipping box is still available.
Yeah.
So I thought about, I don't know, I think the shipping is going to be astronomical cost. But I thought about shipping the TV to my mom with the wall bracket and just have it ready for when the BeoVision 9 dies, which I don't think it's anytime soon. But that also presents a fucking huge problem because now I need an NL to ML converter, which I also have. Sorry, never mind. So that's not a problem.
Wouldn't it be more time and sort of efficiency related if you just went there with it in the car?
No.
Well, the thing is,
4 days of driving.
Yeah, no, I understand, right? But if that box gets there, like your mum's not lifting it.
No,
Like
no,
it's
no. I'd have to arrange for something. Yeah.
yeah, so like and then she's never gonna install it, right? Because
No, no.
I'm pretty sure your mum is strong and all that, but she's not strong enough to lift a 55 Avant by herself and like hang it or like even in the box
No,
move it
this
to
would be
wherever.
something that, yeah, this would be something that I think that if I were to send it down there, I would have to be there. I'm still planning on it, at least doing one trip before I go, right?
Yes.
So go down, and then I'd probably just pack it in the basement back into the box because she's got the BB9, which, if I take the BB9 out of that picture, that whole wall is empty. I'd have to open the wall, reinforce it for the motorized wall bracket because it does turn the correct way out into the room, and then rearrange the cabling because cabling now comes out of the wall plate. There's 4 wires, and one of them is specifically Masterlink because the rest of the house is Masterlink, right?
Yeah.
So, and that would relieve the bedroom to either have stage put in it or Premiere put in it. But if I were to put the Premiere in there, then I'd most likely what I would do is I would buy a 77-inch theater wings and swap the 77 and take the 65 into the bed. But I find I don't consume TV much in the bed. Like when I was here, when my girlfriend was here, yes, like that's something that she did, so I did. But
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy with just having a shape back online per se, right? Put it in the bedroom because it's a great sound system, and quite honestly, like if you listen to it in that band on the wall, at the end of the day, you're always more or less listening to it with one ear because I don't know, whoever sleeps like a freaking Dracula or some shit, just fuck. I don't know. Some people do that. Some whatever. Whoever. So everybody sleeps somehow, right? Like if you sleep in, like the Jeff Martin sweet spot style, I guess. You just sit there, then that's it. But I sleep on the side, so for me it won't matter. And yeah, I guess when you're sick, then it's at least a nice system to be able to listen to while you're sitting up in bed. Because I did have that opportunity during the Rona times.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I used to have a friend, and I was always only at night was I very envious of him because he was quite deaf in one ear, right? So whenever he slept anywhere where it was loud, he would just lay on his good ear, and then it's just like silence.
it's
So he
noise
could sleep
canceled.
anywhere.
That's funny. So yeah, but yeah, again, see if I put the shape in the bedroom, then I still could run my BeoLab 19 off of it. I'm still debating if I could do if I were to put a new Connect core into the shape, or I would leave it with the old timer because that still gives you functionality alarm clock wise or BeoTime wise, right? Because I can still put an IR in there.
Look, if it was standalone, right, then I would say get the new BioConnect core. But since you have your home tied in together, I would say stick with the old one for all the various reasons, right? Like same with that you can make it play with the BeoTime a lot easier.
The problem is I don't know, I haven't touched it in 4 years, right? It's been sitting packed in the box. But the software that's been on there 4 years ago, as soon as you plug the shape amplifier through the USB into the core, it would stop responding to regular BeoFour commands. It would only do BeoRemote ones. So the only thing that I was basically left to use when I had the shape, when I plugged it in, was the light and control commands. So light one was summer, or yeah, I think I had light blue for air conditioning and light red for heating, and light yellow was for the morning sequence and so on and so forth. So I had it programmed into those 4 buttons, and but I couldn't control the volume from the BeoTime anymore. or pull up a source. So that kind of sucks. Now, on the other hand, the new beta update came to the app, and I guess the guys, I appreciate you watching the podcast. I really do, because you have fixed what I was complaining about, where the app basically crashes as soon as you make it play a song out of Tidal on the ASC platform. And now my BeoSound 1 works. Or sorry, BeoSound 2. Which one is it? It's the BeoSound 1. What the hell am I talking about? Yeah, the little black piano guy here. Or piano black. So now it all works. It works with the TV, but I don't know if it's my router that's shite, but it drops out way more than it used to. But it doesn't do it Mozart to Mozart. So I suspect there's still something that is buggy within the ASC network link distribution, where there, I guess the time leader or whatever it's called is not talking properly. So yeah. Yeah, the shape. I don't know. Ed, did you install it the same way that most of the people did on, not most of the people, but some people did on the Discord, I guess, with the MTF or plywood backing, and then put the tiles on it, on that shape, quote unquote?
Did I do that, or
No, Ed, he said
Oh.
that he loves this shape, so it's an interesting, I guess, of course, in every room other than this. But yeah, I am debating that, and once I figure out, I think if I were to rebuild the shape, I think I would put it the same way that I used to have it, the same shape, I guess. So I would put it on a plywood, because then it's way easier and less brain damage. And what I found that the driver tiles do vibrate out over time from the drywall, even when you use the drywall anchors. They do, unless you put toggle bolts, which is more or less insane, but it is the proper solution now that I know out of experience, having what did I have the shape in there for since 2018 when it came out, I guess, like somewhere early
something like
2018.
that? Yeah.
So I've had it there for 4 years, and yeah, and I wasn't really juicing it much. Most of the playing that was done on the shape was CBC Radio 1 news in the morning, or 660 news in the morning. Usually I listen to, but CBC Radio, because they are fucking communist, first of all, and second of all, they don't have commercials. So it was the last thing I wanted to do. I don't know. I'm one of those people that if I hear something stupid and catchy on my way out from my house, it's stuck with me the whole day. I carry that loop in my head. It's very bothersome. 24 tiles, that's nice. I think I have 14 or 12, if I remember. I have half of your size, but I couldn't afford to put more, because there's only so much wall you can cover with it before it starts looking silly. So yeah.
Let's see. Where's your shape install?
Right there. The boxes, yeah.
It's 409 weeks ago.
So that's how long ago this was.
That is what, 8 years ago?
8 years, yeah, something around there. Yeah, that was the whole process of putting it together. Ta-da! I still remember I used to carry screws and stuff. Man, my toolbox expanded so much since those days. Over the years. So that's what it ended up looking like. I ordered a bunch of different tiles too, I remember. So it was like all green, like 2 green stripes, and then I had, I think, those gray doves. I had 2 more. I found that the fabric ones versus the quadrat,
Mm-hmm.
you can see, like, when the sun shines, you can see the grills and stuff. You can see through it, and it fucking bothered the heck out of me. So I swapped them to quadrat, which is a thicker fabric. It's again stupid the shit that, but that's just what makes B&O, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I'm still
that's
kind of sad that they don't promote this harder. It's like, come on, guys, what are we doing?
and every default room in North America has a goofy ass plug in the center of one of the walls for the TV to be plugged in, right? With the
Yeah.
network. That's what I did. I took off the network. I took the both plates out and just ran the network directly in, and actually re-ran the wires in that house to Cat 7. So that's the funny thing is that the guy was washing windows that day as I was putting this together. He was like, "What the fuck is this guy putting in?" But yeah, that was and you can still
Nowadays
see
they
there
would
is
have,
a
nowadays they would have probably thought, why is he hanging LEDs over there?
hmm
Because back in these days, right, like LEDs
yeah,
were
you wouldn't know
barely a
what the heck
thing
it
yet.
was. But yeah, on the bottom, as you see, there's double plate as well, which was basically a pass through for the network, and power, which over top of those two, I've installed the NL to ML converter on a wall bracket, so it covered those 2 plates. It was a pretty nice install. The whole house was very, very nicely set up back in the yesteryears. Not that this one isn't, but I spent way more time in that home doing what I didn't do here. Like, I didn't bother creating my own network infrastructure because there's only one cable coming in to that location where the lamp is. Like, fuck it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not here long enough to do it. Say that, and I'm here. It's the 2nd year now, so but it
As
all
soon
still
as
works.
you get the itch of doing it, then you're gonna get the notice that you need to move.
hmm
It's always how it
So
goes.
yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, the Avant is staying on the wall till I get out of here, and then what is that? Numeris. Another, like, why would I need a PayPal keypad or a PayPad keypad here? Don't disturb, son of a bastard. But yeah, that's how she went together. But yeah, it sounded nice, and that was back in the day still when just listening to CBC radio, you could see the orange light on the amplifier, which means that it's overheating. It was a software problem that they had. But that got resolved over time, and now the Shape is what it is, which is a great product, just undersold as hell.
Yeah. Is there a difference between BeoPlay HX and BeoPlay Portal in terms of sound quality? Yes. The portals have more bass, are more sort of gaming oriented, if you will, and the HXs are more sort of pure
Musical.
music.
Yeah.
Though I personally prefer the portals over the HXs for various reasons, including
I think
that.
the most significant reason or difference between those two is that the portals came with Dolby Atmos license from Microsoft through the dongle, so you could actually have the Dolby Atmos proper for gaming, which HXs don't do that.
No, not at all. Also, the microphone on this is way better. We're both wearing portals, so like you're asking portal people which is better, right? And it's going to be portals if you can still find them.
Yeah, I think portals are the way to go. Plus, they're more comfortable in my opinion because of the chubbier bottom lip on the ear cushion.
Yes.
So
I mean, the HXs I would say are prettier and maybe slightly nicer materials, but like I don't throw these around, so
no, these have been used nothing but the podcast more or less for last years. Well, you see how many podcasts we've done, and I'm more or less. I don't have them all the time. I used to rock the old what were they called? A8 earbuds or earphones? The yesteryears guys
no,
that
the
go
three
over your ear.
eyes, right?
No, I had the AH. Didn't have the microphone. I had the separate
Oh,
microphone at the time with the USB. So yeah. Yeah, I've been through a lot of headphones. Sunit's asking, how did I got into the B&O? I got into the B&O. First time I've seen it was in '95 back in Europe. And this is a very short story long, or long story short, because we've done a podcast about that. I'm sure there is one. But yeah, I fell in love with it. And my best friend's dad bought a system, and I said to myself one day, I want to own it. And then I found B&O in 2002 in Canada after we moved here. Got sucked in and bought a TV without my wife knowing. It's better ask for forgiveness than permission, type of thing. And yeah, the TV's still here, wife's not, and I've been added more or less since 2011. After I basically left 8 years of architectural career behind.
and this is how you sleep with a little logo above your bed.
And that's where I'm at right now in my mental state with B&O. It's no longer that. I actually have it spelt out now. So
I mean,
that's
if
how
I'm
it
ever
started.
at your place, I'm gonna get a printout of Jeff's face and put it in the O, so you can do a prayer every night to Jeff.
Yeah, they all three would fit. Sven, Peter, and Jeff. You know, 3 gaps.
Like some people
Yeah.
have a little statue of Jesus or whatever above their bed. You have the B&O logo.
I'm the B&O logo, bro. Like I said, now it's the new one with just spelled out right across the entire width of the bed.
Yeah, but you haven't tossed this one, have you?
Mm-mm. Of course not. I even kept one extra when they removed the door because they were going to throw it out, and nobody wanted to take the time to remove it off of the glass door. So I did, and I have the silver one as well, a little smaller.
When you work in a store, whenever B&O changes stuff, this is what you can sort of make disappear home. There's quite a lot of it on eBay or in the Netherlands and Denmark, where like old store frontage is for sale. It's a bit of a search, but it's not commonly available.
No, but I think that you could get your dealer to order it for you, but that's a long shot, man.
Yeah.
That's a long shot. So this one. This one here, let's put this away. I got from the door.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's fucking gold mine, brother. And I cut around this little thing for it, right? So it's nice and safe. And then there's the B&O foam that comes over the top of it like so. And then the top layer of hardness that keeps it all safe. I have to go this way, I guess. And then I tape the corners, and it sits there for years now. But that was also another option to use. So maybe in another place.
What advice would you give someone wanting to work with or in B&O? Well, if it's in B&O, move to Denmark.
Yeah, but if you want to work with B&O, passion is not the only thing that you need to have. You need to have an insane amount of patience and a high level of problem solving skills that are very specific to Danish logic.
Yes.
That's not even being sarcastic about it, but because they have a certain way that their things should work in their understanding, especially with Bang & Olufsen. And it's not like any conventional electronics, you know what I mean? Like if you're dealing with the Masterlink system, if you, let's say there's a Masterlink lockup and they say disconnect all the Masterlink product from the Masterlink, you fucking gotta disconnect all the product from the Masterlink, because that bug will retain somewhere in one of the products that never gotten disconnected. And that also gets troublesome when you have somebody that made a freaking French braid out of all the splices for the MLs, and you have to go behind each product and physically disconnect it. So that's, you know, sometimes that service call becomes a nightmare. But I really have the joy of seeing people's face when you first time turn on their system in their house. after it's all tuned properly, and it's just fucking boom, right? And they shit themselves. Oh, these are not for sale, brother. These are not for sale. These are one of the few mementos that gonna remind me of Quebec song.
5,000 coffees, I say, will do it.
Oh shit, no, I don't know. No, everything has its price, but I don't know. These are not. I have never thought about selling them.
What do you want for the black ones then?
I don't know. Those are from the old shop. I'm not gonna sell those either. This is 2 businesses ago already, or 2 collection. Well, one, obviously the Quebec Son is still in business, but the way that the logos are now, they're not supposed to be silver anymore, right? So that had to be all disposed of. And that glass was this was not fun to take off. I'll tell you that. This was a hard-earned logo with no damage on it. Taking it off the freaking glass, because B&O doesn't fuck around with those double-sided stickers, man. They do not fuck around. So that's essentially what happened with the letters that I have in the bedroom. I actually had to take off all the B&O double-sided stickers, because those will come with drywall for sure.
Yeah.
And I just custom cut little pieces of the 3M, those little, the ones for the wall, right? So it's easier to take them off.
I guess nowadays it's more common. You can get those pull down ones where like it doesn't ruin everything.
That black logo that was above my bed in Calgary, I cheated on it a bit because I stuck it on the wall, even though it was a pain in the ass to measure it out properly, right? Because I didn't have any templates.
Yeah.
But originally what it's supposed to be installed on these pegs that screw into the back of the letters. So the letters hover about, I don't know, 3-4 centimeters off the wall. And that's fucking hard to do. Because if you miss one hole, then it's freaking cockeyed and you're not fixing it.
So, coming back to what advice would you give for somebody wanting to work? If you want to work with a dealer, keep your eyes out, because these jobs don't come about very often, right?
No.
I would be up on as many manuals as you can find from the current stuff, because that makes you more valuable to anybody giving you a job in this sort of space.
100%. If you have the background knowledge, it's very, very, very beneficial. And I used to be bored and just study the Masterlink handbook, which is 256 pages of basically everything, how it all connected from the very beginning. And there's Master Controlling handbook if you want to go that far. I don't know if they're all available on Discord, but I can definitely post it. And but yeah, like I've read all the manuals that were to be always read, because the manuals that really were no manuals back when I first started with Bang & Olufsen, like, let's say the BeoVision 7 times and BeoLab 1 times, right? Like for manuals, you got a manual, but it wasn't the same as the manual that you could get, let's say the BeoSystem 3 service manual, when you go behind all the menus and scenes and you can change stuff. And when you do the the installation with a second screen output to the projector, where you can go and change the timings and the customer service menus and all that, like it's beneficial. It's no longer a case anymore, because all that can be done basically by either a home automation system or it's more or less dedicated in a way. So it's not as complex. Like the era of HDMI matrices in homes, I think it's completely dying, because everything comes with a streaming service platform that you can just install directly on the screen, or Apple TV. When you piggyback that behind any TV, you have a smart TV. So, but yeah, my advice is definitely, if you want to do installations per se, grind that. Networking comes very beneficial as well, so you can understand, and I think familiarity to work with Ubiquiti gear gives you a good step ahead. And I don't know, man. Just a fuckload of tools. If you're gonna be doing the installations, fuckload of tools, because no job is the same, no house is the same, no installation is the same. And there's one day you're walking on carpet that is worth more than your house and mortgage, and you have to work around all that. Or you're working around these little fucking trinkets and porcelain shit that if you knock out one, like you wouldn't even know what to do with your insurance claim. And those are the things that happen, right? Because essentially people that buy that, they already have some art in the house that this is going to complement with. And
Yes.
it is your responsibility to make sure that you don't leave with any dents and scratches on shit that wasn't supposed to be dented and scratched.
Also, if you want to start in B&O, if you want to start at a dealership, right? Because that's the most common job, most likely, unless you're moving to. I mean, in Britain, you can potentially work for the distributor, I guess, but that's like 8 people, so like those jobs almost never come up, right? Because like nobody ever really leaves. But so the most common way to get in is through a dealer, but any decent dealer will put you on install for the first 3 to 6 months.
Oh, 100%.
Like even if you're going to be the sales guy, right? Because otherwise you don't know what you're selling.
When I started at B&O as sales, I requested also, like, I need to go and see how these things come together. Like I was also very, very curious, because I guess I have a technical mind in that position. So, or in that way. So I wanted to explore how the things are built in home, installed, wired, because the wiring is also something that, pin outs and shit. I fucking link eye. I've never put a link eye on the wall. You know what I mean? Like there's always there's a first day for everything, right? Everything that you ever touch, there's a first day for it. And it's you build up a lot of confidence when you know how to put the stuff together. And also when there's these weird quirks that happen, especially nowadays, it's even more than back then, because back then it was very primitive compared to nowadays with Masterlink. Even though back then it was very advanced, don't get me wrong, it is no longer, now it's like, is it your network? Is it your ISP provider? Is it the product itself? You know what I mean? I've had people that plug their shit on the dimmed plug too, and then it sometimes works, sometimes didn't, or a controlled plug. So yeah, there's a lot of that, but you will figure out. Be very good with measurements. Also, I would say that's a very, like, it's funny that here people do the imperial, right? I can't. If I'm putting B&O on the wall, dude, I switch to metric, because I can't fraction divide the shit to, I have 9/64. Fuck off, dude. Give me the millimeters.
I mean, if I was a dealer, right, and because a lot of dealers tend to do a lot of that themselves, unless it's like in a certain investment business. The reason you would go on install for the first 3 to 6 months, right, is like, even if you were this prospective new sales guy, like it's so easy to sell stuff that the installation techs go like, "What the fuck have you done?" Right? Like,
oh my god, that was so many of these. They just like, oh Christ, I'm not gonna say the name, but like, Jesus, really? Like, that's what now we have to figure out how to put it all together so it somehow works the way that you sold it. That's no good. That happens. That really happens. So it happened in Calgary and happened here in Montreal. It still happens where I'm at. So it's a hard flaw to fix in a business, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, the selling of B&O, I don't think is, because of the customer base, right? It's not super hard, because like I would say 50% of the people walk in are already sort of edging themselves into, I'm going to buy something. It's just that you have to have some common sense and not be too pushy. And because the people that don't know B&O don't generally walk out with a theater or something like that, right? Like,
no, they don't. But then again, like that's the best person to get. I remember when people would come in and never heard of B&O, and they left the store just fucking blown away with the catalog in their hand, right?
Yeah.
And usually 3-4 months later, because also I don't know if many stores do that, but I was very adamant, and also Scott was very adamant at the old store on the ROS, on the follow-ups, right? Because there's one
Yes.
after third day and one after, I think it was 2 weeks, and one after 4 weeks, especially when they bought something. But I would always call the person afterwards and follow up 3 days later. This is Willie, blah blah blah. How are you? What did you think of the brand? Is there any bugs that you have in your head that you want to ask about? And usually you just pull them back in one way or the other, and they would walk out with something. And once they have that one thing, dude, it dissolves into the whole collection that you end up over the years, because things don't age the way that other electronics age, in just look, appeal, and also functionality. And you can always more or less infinitely add on to it. Now I think we're getting to that technical shift and change that I think B&O has been dreading for years and decades before, which is now the DPL, right?
Yeah.
Because there was time where the regular way of a speaker wire has gone obsolete in B&O's books, because they moved into active loudspeakers, and that's also more or less gone by the wayside from the power link as a regular signal, because you still have a DAC with the Wi-Fi capability on board of the speakers, so might as well just do it all through the network, which is now fast enough that it can do all that data transfer, which I don't think was possible back in the day.
Yeah.
To have so much data feed going on. So that's the only drawback I think that B&O has, I guess, as the history has been with it, and now how the future comes.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of how it doesn't age, right? Between these two speakers, right? There's like 16 years between them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and these don't look old. These don't look like they're designed.
Well, they came out in 1999, right?
Yeah.
So that's what, 2016 years. Yeah. It's 16 years of difference in just, but look how much difference in technology that has been, right?
Yeah, but like you don't visually see it. Right? Like the ones are still excellent speakers.
Yeah, and the BeoSound 9000 was 19 years old at the time?
Yeah.
It came out in 1996.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so like it's more a time investment than a money investment necessarily, but like you tend to keep it.
Look, the 9000 is still here, bro.
Yeah.
I've had it for so long now. For so long. I play it occasionally, but it's very occasionally. But it's just so nice to look at, to see it.
I think the best dealers I've ever been to, right, is where they sort of go like, hey, what are you in for? This, that, and the other. Do you know the brand? Do you want to listen to something? And they tend to ask you what you want to and after, like, I don't know, a few minutes, maybe somebody else comes in. And then I think it's a trick, right? Where they just go, excuse me for a minute. Here's the remote. And they fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're just by yourself, right? Like, oh, like, ooh.
The good old BO4 days, I remember that, when they give it to you the remote, and it's like, you pass the remote, and it's like the person's like, oh shit.
Because it's not just that you have the remote, right? It's like, I'm so cool with however much this is worth, right? You have control.
Yeah, I used to do that too.
I'm literally giving you the control of this place. And it's, I mean, that works most times, I feel.
Yeah, because I've never made that distinction between rich and poor looking or grubby looking, because you never know. And especially Calgary was a very interesting market, because people would dress down to go to these high-end shops to look around and see what they would be treated like. But I've made a couple deals that were like unbelievable, how much gear they bought. And the dude literally, like, he came to the store on Saturday. He was building something in his backyard, went to Home Depot, picked up some stuff, and decided to go downtown and stop at B&O shop to check it out. Sawdust and all, fuck.
Yeah.
And then he bought a whole bunch of stuff, because it ended up that it was remodeling that they had a fucking flood go on in the basement, or some, some pump gave up or something. So he was redoing all the shit by himself, or not by himself, but working on it, or tear down, whatever he was doing. And he bought quite a bit of stuff for the basement. So yeah, I never judge who comes into the shop. That was an interesting day when I listened to the 90s versus the ones,
I mean, quite honestly, right? Like, I've lived in both ends of the spectrum, essentially. And it's not so much clothing and appearance that tell you who somebody is, it's mannerisms. But it's much more subtle than that.
Yeah. It very much is.
I mean, I know a fair few people, right, that only wear like run-down jeans with like semi-holes in them and shit like that, and they drive old beat-up trucks. But then you look behind the curtain, it's like, holy shit, you could buy this whole subdivision if you wanted to.
Yeah, you never know.
But it's the mannerisms, right? And it's not so much how you look or if you're dirty or not, right? Because I find a lot of these suited up people, right, are just pretending. And you can tell by the mannerisms.
Yep. Yeah, you can tell, especially on Saturdays, the ones that went to the mall and got all sprayed up with colognes and then came into the B&O showroom looking like like, bro,
those aren't likely your customers.
No,
they just want to see some cool stuff, which is fine.
Every now and then one of them bought like the A8 headphones or the earphones, and that's about it. Or Form 2s.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, like 16, 17 years, and then this, God, even the TV is old compared to the speakers. Because that TV at the time was, what, 3 years old?
Yeah, I think so. I think it came out, 2012 or 2013. I think it's 2013. So 2 years, give or take 2.5. Still love the thing, though. Still love that TV.
I mean, they were just about to launch, or did launch, the next generation of Hunt.
Yeah, this is before the next generation.
Yeah, like this is the Mark 1, the better one.
Yeah, the next generation was, the NG stood for no good, man. It never really, that Android was a mistake in my opinion, implementing it into the Horizon 14 and Avant. So
Cookie says people with 50s and 90s are broke. Rich guys are rocking the stage.
Nice. So,
well, I guess there's some truth to that, right? There's this sort of whole middle ground where people that have 50s and 90s spend all their money on speakers, right? And then there's the actual pinnacle of that, where it's sort of like, I bought some 90s again.
I'll just put those in my living room, in my chalet, which I've had happen. So that's a different universe of finance, which I'm not a part of, unfortunately. But yeah, so I don't know. It's B&O is you need to be passionate about product.
Any chance to get a BeoConnect Encore? Seemingly no, unless you buy the
whole thing.
Yeah, the 9000C package. I mean, maybe you can get a dealer to get it as a second.
I wonder also how much of that interface is done within the assumption that is a USB-C connection between the 28s particularly and that BeoConnect Encore.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the chance is unlikely that even a dealer can just order it as a special or separate part, because
dude, I looked when it came out.
Like, what went wrong with it? Like,
I looked when it came out. It's on the parts list. You can have the part number, but it says not available, discontinued immediately. Like, because I've looked at the parts, not the day it came out, but once it was available on the ROS system, it was still at Quebec-Son. And I looked through it and like, son of a, because I was going to order it. No matter what, I know if it costs $1,000, so goddamn be it, right? but I want that original piece so I can run this maybe off of the theater. But that never came to fruition. That part was introduced and discontinued probably in the same posting on the inventory sheet.
Look, I bet you can still get it, right? But you have to email somebody, and then they're going to look at, did you actually sell any of these
Hmm.
units? And if so, what went wrong with it? Because we want it back, the original one that broke. Because
Hmm.
otherwise, fuck you, no, this is not meant for like regular use.
But I honestly, I don't know, Killer Frizz asking Encore needed 28. I really suspect that you are correct, and I'm suspecting myself to be correct in that suspicion as well, that there is some sort of a extraneous interface or external interface between the Encore and the USB. I don't believe that the USB-C only provides power for that Encore.
Oh, asked the field service. They said no, it's linked to serial number.
Hmm.
Well, there you have your answer then. I don't know what to say. I mean, would I like them to release it? Sure, but they're clearly not interested because it's been a year and a half, 2 years now.
I still think that if I was the CEO of BNO and people were requesting this, if I were to build a BeoConnect Encore, I would have built it with SPDIF out of the 9000 going directly into that box, and the master link also going into that box, because you want that to be, the control of it type of thing. And if it's so specific for it, why not make it as the size of that back cover that everything just clicks in, and it's got either a network port that comes into it or it's on a Wi-Fi. And that would be Mozart compatible, so you can have that throughout the whole thing. If you make it a box, then I think would apply to the 3200 per se. But I don't think that BNO wants to go down that route. I don't think that BNO wants to go down the route of even trying to be fixing the goddamn lap fives anymore, man. The chassis just gotten like doubled, if not almost doubled and a half in price for repair costs in the past few weeks. So
look, I understand it, right? Like we are
me too.
looking at it from like a sort of fan perspective, but they're just sort of at some point like, do we really have to keep supporting this thing that we made by now 26 years ago, almost 30? Like, and do we
Yeah.
have to innovate for it? Like, can't we do something else? We all think they should, right? But they clearly.
But I don't even think they're the ones with the steering wheel in their hands to that, because if the supplier says, okay, we are discontinuing production of these particular PCB boards, you're fucked.
Yes.
Because then what are you going to pay them to retool their system to produce boards? They're brand new, but they're 25 years old in technology.
Yeah.
Do they even have the chipsets that go on the damn boards that board
anybody
requires?
make EPROMs anymore?
So there is a lot of, like, I completely understand where that's coming from, and I understand people that love the lap fives, but I think that the service death is inevitable to these speakers within, optimistically, I would say another decade, because you have a lot of chassis that were fixed. So you maybe shake out 10 more years off of them, and then that's basically it. I fully understand why BNO's pulling the plug on it, because if I were to run the company, I think I would pull the plug on those two. Like, there's enough new smart speakers to sell in portfolio that we don't really need to worry about servicing these or having that, send the chassis back to Denmark program and wait 6, 9, 10 months, and it's a 50-50 success rate. And if you get it fast replacement, then you get somebody else's shit that was fixed that it's completely sticky paint, and it's not cool, man. So
I mean, I'm looking now, right? And it's been so the last sold new BeoLab 5 has been out of warranty for 9 years already.
fuck. Yeah, because that's no. When did they sell them? They sold them just They
Up until
discontinued them before
2016.
the 90s?
No, 2016.
No, there was an overlap, right?
Yeah, because they stopped like 6 or 9 months before the 50s came.
Yeah, so then that brings them what? That they're 6 years out of warranty because there's 3 year standard.
Yeah. So it's like,
And that was 9 years ago.
It's been out of warranty for, and that's the last one of a 15-year run, right? Like, come on. Like, there are fives out there that have been out of warranty for 23 years, 21 years.
I think 20 years because they came out in 2003. Now it's 26. So yeah, it would be 23 years out of warranty. Like, other than a vehicle industry, there is no other brand that you could buy parts for something from that era, that old, nowadays. Go to Sony, buy a fucking tube for your new old tube TV. You're done. Or any board for it, for that matter. So, you know, that's a big credit to B&O, but I think that also sometimes the longevity of the product and the design of it shoots them in the foot a little bit because people perceive it, oh, well, they should be fixing it. Well, just because you bought that speaker 3 years ago doesn't mean that the guy before you didn't have it for 15 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you can still get 8000s fixed. Like, that's how crazy
4000s are done. 4000s, at least for the Canadian North American market, 4000s are done for boards.
Yeah,
I think Denmark is finished with them.
8000s aren't a problem, but like, even that is sort of like, we're talking about something that is 30 years old now.
1991 is when the 8000s came out. 3 years before the AV 9000 system, which was the first Dolby surround, I guess.
I mean, the fives are just something, a little bit of an oddity, right? Because they were too advanced for the time they came out, but that is so old school now that it's sort of in this weird limbo period.
Yeah.
I mean, even so, like, come on, you can get support for your speakers that you bought in 2003 to this day. It's really quite something. I mean, it's shitty for the secondhand market, right? But eventually, people like BeoBuddy in the Netherlands and stuff will develop stuff to fix them. You're gonna pay for it. It's still cheaper than buying 50s, but it'll just require some work.
Yeah.
I mean, somehow it's not a problem, right? When a lot of people go like, "Oh, my, name something, BV10 died." Like, somehow we're not annoyed that there's no support for that anymore. Because
TVs are disposable, right? Even in the B&O terms, like how people perceive them, like, oh yeah, well, I've had this TV for 10 years, you know, now the new, like, there is a significant difference in picture quality from, let's say, 4 years, from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when, you know, 1080p was new, or 1080i, right? Versus to now, when you got fucking 4K, 8K, this, that, HDR, you know, all these shortcuts thrown, Dolby Vision, right? So there is a significant difference in perception of the picture quality, where, you know, like the 740, man, like the old one on the cold cathode fluorescent tubes before the LEDs, like those are dim as shit now compared to the new panels. So you're like, okay, cool, but I can keep the speakers? Yeah, you can keep the speakers. Especially now with the theater, you definitely can keep the speakers. Just change the DIN to RJ45s on one end. That's it.
I mean, if anything, I don't think they should like look really into like making the BeoConnect Encore, right? If anything is going to be lucrative for them, it's going to be a DPL connector.
DPL receiver.
Yeah.
They must make a DPL receiver.
Because, like, hi, Steve, but I know you're nuts about your Pentas, right? I mean, it's more likely that Steve will buy a Premiere or something of the sort if he can keep his pentas. Otherwise, he just keeps rocking what he's rocking, right?
But that'd be cool if you can actually get the data on the pentas to show.
Well, even if it's just the sound, right? Because the people that love their pentas or their fives, right, they don't really want to change. So if you want to sell them anything, right, you're going to sell them a new screen, essentially.
That's about it.
I mean, especially if you put some actual marketing maybe behind it. I think if you have a DPL receiver, you're going to sell several thousands of them.
Well, they would need data communication just by default of using them with the 50s and 90s, which then means that you might as well bring the data from the fives, right? At least for the minimum of it. So you could put the fives on it. I don't think that B&O would moonwalk all the way back to the pentas and BeoLab 5000s and 3000s where the displays would show.
I mean, if they made a DPL receiver that didn't work with 90s, 50s, and 5s, I'd be okay with that. Where they keep those in the sort of, well, the 5s for the technical reasons, right? But the 50s and 90s for exclusivity reasons. Like, that would make sense because the rest can sort of function independently of whatever else is in the system.
I agree and disagree because you can still put them on the cheesy ass transmitter one and they would work, right? Even though the sound quality, of course, it's not the same as being power linked.
Yeah, but BeoLab 5s don't work with transmitter ones, right?
No.
Yeah. I mean, and why? I mean, the 50s and 90s already have WiSA in them, but they're also not the best on WiSA. Like, they're better wired.
Oh, they're better wired. I can attest for that myself. I've lived with them wireless for a year and something. And then when we started the podcast, right, you were on my ass for a while, and then I'm like, fuck it, okay, I'll wire them. And dude, there is a big difference, especially with the room compensation, how they talk between. It is a huge difference. Never use the 50s and 90s on WiSA unless you're absolutely fucked.
I mean, it's nice for the cable clutter and that sort of thing, right? Like, I do appreciate WiSA for what it is. Because it's literally power plug, and okay, we're done, let's go.
That's very simple. It's brain dead.
Which is perfectly fine for everything else other than 50s and 90s.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, even 28s, right, on WiSA or DPL, fine.
The DPL does have a little bit of a better sound quality to it, I find. But back then, when I had the ability to be judge of that, the DPL was not the most stable out of all protocols. And even the stereo pairing was definitely not in its infancy because it's been around for a while, but it was software was not up to par. Which nowadays I don't think it's much of a difference.
DPL is pretty good
struggle.
now. But again, you probably need, like, it stands and falls by, like, what is your router? Coming back to, was it Sunit? If you want to work with B&O, sales or otherwise, right? This is the sort of shit you need to, like, know and ask people, and find a way of asking it in a way that doesn't put people off, but like sort of steering people into, like, what is best for you based on what you currently have. And also in terms of, like, if you ask, like, what sort of network are you running? If they go, I don't know, it's probably just the ISP, right? And it's like, okay.
Or one of those, 7 antenna fucking routers from whatever.
Netgear,
exactly, with like 6 or 8 inch antennas sticking out. It looks like a fucking porcupine. It's no, you need solid. And you know what? When you tell people, because a lot of people that I find in just real life altogether, clients, even in sales sometimes, they have no grasp and understanding of how important that very first line of foundation is, which is the network. You have to have solid network in order for your shit to work properly, man. It doesn't matter if it's Sonos, if it's BNO, if it's Control 4, or if it's Savant or whatever system do you have. You need to have a capable enough network to hold that, because people don't understand how much information actually travels through all this shit if you have a number of rooms playing at the same time. Like, it's not just magically appearing there. Like, something has to go through something, and that thing just cooks itself in the rack if it's not powerful enough to provide, or you have dropouts. So
Cabesis, my ace is damn solid. I run 800, 500.
yeah, but I don't think that you're falling into the category of people that I'm particularly talking about right now.
Also, it's not the speed, right? It's the interconnectivity and how the router handles protocols. Like, your average internet connection is not what we're talking here. It's how because that is literally device, router, outside, gone, and back, right?
Yeah, but start running 8 rooms on network link with either different sources to them, or the same one. That traffic is insane on the router side.
And your router may handle it, right? But like how much can you shape it? Because in Ubiquity, the world's your oyster in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Good, crazy talk.
I mean, I was speaking to my
Ubiquity. I sorry to just complete the Deborah. I installed a Ubiquity maglock, man. They're now making those too for doors. Anyways, go ahead.
I was talking to my neighbor because of our security system and whatever else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's an electrician, but I was surprised as an electrician how little he understood networking.
Oh, there's a zero clue with electricians for that. Honestly, they really.
Yeah. I mean, he's an electrician.
No disrespect to the trade, but they just don't come in contact with it long enough or often enough. And most of the contracts that they do, when they do have to do low voltage pre-wire, it's they pull, one Cat 5 or Cat 6, whatever is the cheapest box they got, and a coax cable right beside their fucking plug in the middle of the wall. That's as far as their network abilities go, because they don't study it. They don't play with it. They don't really understand how this comes. And when we come in there to pre-wire for the house, like the house that I just did last week or 2 weeks ago, we're going back there again to finish. But the guy's like, holy fuck, that's a lot of cables. I'm like, yeah, dude, and that's the half the house for now. It's a big house, but still, all the Lutron keypads, it's a homework system, so you have to do that. I'm not doing home runs because we're just looping each 4 as a bank, right? So you save on cable and save on fucking pulling stuff. But each room has a set of speakers and a TV. So what do you put up for a TV? 4 Cat 6s, and sometimes that's not enough.
Yes.
Because it depends on the system design, right? Like if you put a Samsung or an LG TV with the regular conventional system, you need a fucking audio return from SPDIF into the speakers that are in the ceiling through the amp that is downstairs in the rack. And you need network to that. Maybe you put an Apple TV to that or whatever, or an extender. No, you eat up cables very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, my neighbor isn't actually like a Sparky anymore. He works in electricity production.
Oh, then that's, even if he's not even working manually, then he wouldn't have a clue at all about what goes into walls when low voltage.
I was just very surprised that his idea, because he's very privacy minded, right? But then his idea is to get these Wi-Fi connected what you call it?
Might as well call them open kimonos, fucking
outside, that go on some server God knows where, right?
No.
I told him there are better and worse companies in that, but if they get acquired, and he's like, yeah, it's because they'll tell you when there's an intruder, right? And it's oh, so facial ID. So these people will know absolutely what you and your kids look like at any given time.
They'll know everything about your routine.
Yeah.
No, I personally I have those little Rio links that basically I'm doing what we're preaching not to do right now, right? Because it's going to fucking server somewhere in probably China, right? That they're spying on my BNO here. But I have no other option, because I didn't want to, if this was my permanent location, there would have been static cameras installed and a Ubiquity system installed in the box. And I would put I don't need cameras to look at me. I need cameras to look at the fucking front entrance, so I know who's coming in here. And I would put one here to look at the 90s, because everybody that would walk in here when nobody's home, they're gonna be interested in looking at what the heck is that, right? Because this is, you don't see in every unit in this apartment. I can guarantee you that.
Yes.
So, and it's also, I guess, I'm more or less for the insurance sake of it. And the fucking thing is looking here all the time because I haven't changed the floor stand thing yet. So if it comes down, I'm gonna have it on the video.
I mean, Ubiquiti cameras aren't actually all that expensive.
No, they're not.
I mean, I even told them, like, it's all wired up, right? PoE and all that stuff. And, like, they're just unhackable unless they hack my router, which is pretty hard to do.
Mm-hmm. It's the same, right? I can have the 90s and 50s monitor at all times. I want to see where
you can get those little button
on
cameras, right? Like directly above the speaker, so they look down.
Oh, Ubiquiti makes really nice ones that I installed in one of the offices that are super tiny and just like a little, basically like a spider's eyeball off of the ceiling. Very, very cool. And they run, you know, everything is local. You can put a NVR on it and record as much as you want, or whatever hard drive you put in it at that point.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But yeah, cameras are a thing now, definitely.
I mean, I can go back something like 45 days of footage.
I don't think I can go that far back. I have like a 16 gig micro SD card in my living room, so who cares? And then I have a 64 gig in the entrance. But that camera is possessed, or something's possessed in there because it's recording all the time, and there's nothing. But if you listen to it, there's a weird fucking noise that comes through it.
China, man.
I don't know what's going on, dude. It's something is not. I don't think it's happy where it is. Looking at the door.
Oh god, I was just looking.
Not much action there.
Ubiquiti has an AI horn.
Oh Jesus Christ! That you'd lay a fucking egg in your pants when that goes off. God, that's savage. It's probably PoE driven too. No, let's see.
Let's see. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah,
they gotten into freaking everything, man. It's a very, very smart company, and I love their packaging. Absolutely love their packaging. Everything's just it's awesome. Yeah, Ubiquiti is crazy. Fucking horn.
Yeah, I mean, I have the Dream Machine, I think, special edition or something like that. So you have a 3.5-inch bay, right? And I stuck in like an 8 terabyte drive because they were on sale at the time. One of these Western Digital Red NVR versions. And that gives you so much data. That's how I get to like all the cameras for like 45 days. And I think I could even extend it by like lowering all the thresholds for detection and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I have a story about threshold detection. I put 11 cameras in the house back in Calgary, and I set it to. She requested to have an email notification on the front camera when the intrusion zone is breached.
Yeah,
because I put the intrusion zone, and I get an email or text message, sorry, on Sunday morning, just before the podcast at the time. I get an email from her. Willie, I don't know what is going on. I have 780 notifications from the camera. I don't know, something's broken. I looked at the footage. There's a big fuck off spider, big enough to trigger it, that built a spider web right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So you can literally see the entire time lapse, and every time he would move, the notification would come through. Over the course of, I think it was like 36 hours, man. It was funny. But
yeah,
AI is a little different now.
I have that same story. There's a gecko that sits on our doorbell, and quite often,
oh really?
See it comes down from the top. It's like.
Oh man,
Because I think there's some residual heat coming off it, so it just chills on the doorbell.
Just goes for it. Kabi says, I have levels connected via DPL, but if my internet connection drops or I power cycle one of the levels, it doesn't connect back automatically. Is that normal? I think there was a bug with that, no? I have to remove them from the theater and add them back for them to start playing again. Same happens with BeoTalk 8s over DPL. Then I think that's a bug that maybe has just came out with a newer update, or maybe it will be solved with the update. I don't know what software version you're on, because I am obviously Captain Beta here, so I'm on a different theater version that you might be, because I can tell you what I'm on. Just give me a second here.
This might also be solved if you hardwire them, but you probably don't want to, obviously.
I don't know if that would actually solve it. I am on 6.1.0.16. And that was pushed into my stuff last week. Now, I don't have DPL connected because, quite honestly, emerges makes no sense to have connected with 90s and 18s, because they just bring the entire system down by 6 dBs to minimum. And yeah, I don't really have stereo paired stuff. But for me, the biggest problem is that for some reason there's an issue with the sound drop from the BeoSound 1 streaming out into either Mozart or the, I guess they're not ASC, it's the BeoVision BeoSystem 4 based platform on the Avant. So I don't know. I think that might be fixed, because there was let's see. Let's go back to, I don't know if there's release notes in this that would say it. Oh, let me see if I can find it in my email.
I'm thinking now. I have a feeling DPL for levels and stuff like that is a connection you have to manually enable. So maybe when you power cycle them or the connection drops, it's sort of like you stepped out of the reach or something like that, right?
Yeah, that update has nothing to do with your problem. At least the release notes. So yeah, maybe there's, but that's, yeah, there's a buggy somewhere in the DPL protocol. Weren't the guys in Orlando saying the same thing, that when you they disconnected one DPL, the whole hotel stopped working?
Yes.
So,
which may be a different bug than this one.
Well, Lab 8s are also Mozart, just like the emerges are, man. It's just, I don't mix the capability and power of the speaker with the software capability, because they're running the same chips inside. My best guess, unless you have the older emerges that have a first rendition of the Mozart chip, because I think we're on a version 2 or 3 now. I don't remember exactly.
I would wonder. Hardware. I don't know if you can test this, Kabiz, but is your theater hardwired? Because that may change a few things, right? Where the connection then is hardwired to your router from the main DPL source, so to say.
Yeah.
See if, because if that's the fix, right, then just see if you can hardwire your theater. I mean, you're going to have a better experience with your theater anyway if you can hardwire it.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? Then even for let's say the sake of an experiment, if you have a long enough cable, if it's a hassle to pull the wire into the location properly, I would just run a cat cable into it and test it out, see for the stability. Maybe there's a crosstalk between the antennae on the theater. I don't know.
It's not so much that the theater on Wi-Fi creates issues and stuff, right? But when it's hardwired, things load a lot faster because it's not constantly checking if it's on or not. Same with if you, I don't know, go to Netflix, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you have a bit of that. I mean, my theater generally, like, it's through the Netflix logo when, like, oh, there's sound, like, so you just hear like the end part of it, right? That whole
Yeah.
Netflix intro sound, like it's already there generally before the sound is sort of like, oh, actually, we needed to play.
Oh, when you cold start your theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I cold start my theater, because I have the fade in turned on. Without the fade in, it just goes. But it's sometimes it's also weird because I now have grays paired into the TV. Well, I've had them since the day one, I guess, so I utilize them. But it's weird how it works when I disconnect the grays Bluetooth. It goes into the TV. Sound comes out of the TV speakers for a brief second, and then the ARC connects back on. It's really bizarre how that works. But
I shouldn't have been on this website.
what the fuck did you find? Is the camera?
Yeah. But it's so
360. That's sick.
But it's so slim.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can hang this off the eave in your roof or something, and nobody can even see it, right? Unless you literally know what you're looking for. Because it doesn't look like any other camera.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, it's pricey, but like, God, this is such stealth security.
No, Ubiquiti stuff is really neat. I really like it. And been working with it more and more nowadays because we're putting it everywhere. It's solid.
I may actually get one of these just to test it out because I want 2 more cameras. One literally in the front of the house and one in the rear of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So make it one just for the front because it covers more area. Like, I'm not going to buy the AI horn, that's for sure.
Put it in the garage, bro.
Get out now.
Oh my god. Yeah, like all 150 decibels of it or whatever it pushes out. But
God, Ubiquiti is essentially a hobby like B&O, right? Once you start, like, you're into the system and like everything is like, oh
yeah, the entrance control and everything.
Yeah.
Like, they do everything, man. You can have mag locks from them. You can have I don't think they make strikes. I don't remember, but they do have controllers for strikes. So yeah, it's they've progressed a lot since 2012 when we found them at the old B&O shop.
Yeah.
With the long range Wi-Fi antennae. It all started with our installer having a problem that when he was listening to Spotify, the last 8 passes on his acreage, the connection dropped out. And we found the Ubiquiti at the time, and that was that. Very, very solid gear. I honestly recommend it highly if whoever wants to go that route.
I mean, if you want to go like absolutely mental, right, for your camera security, like, you can buy
they
like
got
16 bay.
fucking record 7 years of your shit in there.
Yeah. Here, like, the specs say for 500 HD cameras or 300 4K cameras. Like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're good. Ubiquiti is really good.
Yeah, I need to stop looking at this.
Start buying shit. But yeah, they are. The only thing is that I wish that there was a little bit more support on the BLI side of things, or maybe it's not possible because they're so tied up and so secure that you just don't have, I guess, some open API or whatever that you can go in and backdoor it per se and do a. I think we can still borrow a stream from it though, but I don't know if the pan tilt zoom function would work.
With BLI, probably not. With like, was it the home automation, whatever. I forget the name now.
Control 4.
No, with the free one, that's in the IT software. Like, because I'm pretty sure Billy made
Home
it work.
Assistant.
Yeah, Home Assistant. He made that work through Apple TV.
Okay.
Because whenever his door bell rang, right, you got a little pop up in the top of the Apple TV, like who's actually
Nice.
there, and
Yeah,
stuff
it's cool.
I'm actually surprised how many people have a sub in their system. It's like 50%.
Makes sense. Sub is a good idea to have.
Oh, for sure. I just thought it would be less, right? Because it's sort of the last thing you add generally. And since so many people are in Europe, I would assume that more people had neighbor issues than this.
Yeah, but I guess you get concrete there more or less than not like here. The condos are built out of wood, right?
Yeah.
So
I
even
mean,
when
also 24% say no, I have 50s or 90s. So
awesome. Yeah,
I mean,
you don't really need a sub with the 90s and 50s. That's for damn sure.
I mean, I'm guessing I'm one of each, right? Yes, I have 50s, but also I have a sub still sitting right here.
I have a sub sitting in this corner that does absolutely nothing other than looks beautiful. BeoLab 11 in silver. That thing has last time that it really worked for its money worth was in my studio when I had it behind the couch we hooked it up to the theater.
Do you have it in a separate listening position with like just the 18s and the sub?
It's not even connected.
Oh.
If I were to connect it, then it's the mess of cables, which I don't want to look at, right? And I kind of would have to hide it in the like on the bench here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if you can see that. Okay, so there's the sub, right?
Yes.
So I would have to run the cables all the way along to the cat, which is right there. And I already have one wire going into the BeoSound 3, right, for the power. So I would have to load the receiver there, plus you know, I would have to put a power bar now because now I have the 18 plugged into it and the BeoSound 1 or BeoSound 3. So I just, fuck it. It's not gonna do anything, and I never listen to the 18s on their own. I just don't.
Really? Never? Not even in a listening position?
There's not a listening position for my 18 solo. Sorry. I know it's a blasphemy. I know it's a blasphemy, but I just don't, dude. I get 90s here, and even then I get banged on the fucking wall because the neighbors are tripping. So,
I mean, if you wanted to hide it all, right, maybe you can do what Andrew Robinson did. Like he had, I think, that similar bench in his previous house, and he had like, I don't know if it was drywall or something, but he attached that to the back legs of that bench, so like everything could sit behind it.
well, I still have that Lego box that I haven't used since I moved out of the apartment, right? So I could throw in because it's big enough for a power bar, because that's what used to be in it. I could put that in there, put the receiver one in there, and then connect the subwoofer and make it all run. But I just don't care enough to do it. So, and I have the S8 sub with my V1.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lab 11 doesn't make sense to be moved there because it doesn't stand up to the S8 subwoofer to begin with. I had to actually tone the S8 sub down in that room because it was just way too much boom.
Maybe you can have a rear sub in the bedroom.
I thought about that
theory
also.
to testing your bedroom.
But that's an Avant, first of all, and I don't have any. If I were to do this experiment, I have to get another receiver one because the two of them are now burnt on my Lab 4's surround.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be long enough in this condo to fuck around. Like that's something that I should have been talking about 2 years ago when I first moved here. And but I just said, no, man, I'm gonna make this one like I promised myself, that it's easy exit, a lot of packing, but easy exit, and not many holes. Because the Shape was 72 fucking holes in my bedroom when I left, and You know what, 1 or 72, it still makes no difference. You got to paint the whole bloody wall, but it's a lot of sanding, a lot of punching down, so you get the divots and the mud catches, so it's not bumpy, and you get the orange peel type of thing for drywall. But yeah, it's not in this place. Once I'm in Florida, I'll secure something that I'm gonna commit to for a few years, and that's when I'll most likely do a little bit more intricate stuff.
I
And
don't know
I'll
if
move it to RA3.
yeah. I don't know if it was the same question, but or same person asking. Is B&O coming out with a new sub? We're pretty sure they're working on one.
They have to.
Yeah, partially because of that. I do have a feeling it's going to be not as powerful as the 19.
No, I don't think so.
Because I have a feeling they're moving away and they're going to use either 1 or 2 or 6.5-inch drivers, or just one 8-inch.
I think they'll still stick to the acoustic balance principle. I still think they're going to put 2 drivers in there to either fire opposing to one another or into one another, just so they delete the mechanical vibration of the subwoofer. It's also better on parts. That's likely. But, is it going to be, in my guess, it would be something between the BeoLab 11 and BeoLab 19. It's not going to be above BeoLab 19 as far as power and capability is concerned.
I would actually personally like it more if they used 2 of the 10-inch drivers of the 50s or Edge or whatever. But
yeah.
But I don't think
Edge would have been a good subwoofer.
Yeah. I just don't think they're going to do that.
No.
I mean, they could make an Edge. If you take everything else out, and if you wanted to keep the same sort of round coin, right, like you can make it like 30-40% smaller, and that'd be your sub.
I wish that they revisited the motorized baseboard again in some product. I really think that should be something that should be entertained again. They have a patent on it, so do it.
Sandeep says in the earnings call this week, they did say that capital expenditure would be fairly low, not zero, for the next year or so. That may impact new product pipeline. If they haven't started with stuff, then yes, I agree.
So it's going to be software development on app and colors for the next year and a half, I guess.
Quite honestly, I hope people will see these sales they finally have going on and actually buy some stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I currently think their lineup is pretty good. Like, you don't need that many things, right? Like a sub would be nice, like a that is in the current sort of era. Since we no longer
but if like in reality of things, let's say most of the people that like the way that I don't want to be a fucking conspiracy theorist, but most of the people are pushed into the condo living, especially like in Canada, housing is unaffordable, so you're renting in an apartment, right?
Yes.
In a small apartment living room, average living room size, even the one that they have in Denmark set up as their test the rooms and whatnot. If you buy a Premiere and 4 Lab 8s, that's more than enough acoustically. Yeah, you could add a sub that has a little more rumble, but I think that acoustically is more than enough for a small room. Like, bigger the woofers you get, the more sound it pushes, the wave reaches further, and then you get fucking banged on the wall when I'm listening to these at 45, 50 at the most, right? And it's still, I don't feel the bass as much as it goes across the wall because of the size of the speaker and drivers and so on and so forth. It's the same with the 19 in the bedroom. I got complaints too. So maybe it's just the French.
Yeah, I mean, that's partially why I think it's probably going to be a smaller driver sub, right? But I mean, they've also been pushing to subless systems for a long time.
Well, theater can hold its ground pretty well on its own.
Well, it even started with 28s, right? Like 28 hertz. I think they go to 26 or 28 hertz at the bottom end. I mean, back then we were already saying, like, do you really need a 19 for those last 8 hertz? Maybe, but not need is a big word. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting. Would it
Hmm.
be nice? Maybe, but it's a luxury position. Same for
Yeah.
the 8s, right? They go down to the same thing. They go down to like 30 hertz. I think this is where, like, sometimes I'm watching well, often I watch Andrew's videos about other things, right? Just because out of interest, like how does B&O
Yeah.
compare and whatever else. And he talks about full range speakers, and like they go down to about 45, and it's like these little fuckers go down way lower than that.
Hmm.
Like, I'm kind of surprised sometimes by, like, even these bigger towers of whatever he sometimes shows, right? It's like they don't
Yeah.
go down all that low.
No. Plus, you got to have a good receiver or an amplifier per se, right, to drive them properly. Which then again, that's another variable on its own. What do you use?
I mean, yes, it's generally cheaper, but it's also more cumbersome, right? Like, so,
Mm.
and it, in my opinion, which where it stands and falls a lot of the time, they're generally not as pretty looking anyway. I mean, it's all
There's
kind
not
of.
many brands that are artistically expressed in the way that B&O is in design. That's bottom line.
I mean, I like Sonos Faber. I like Bowers and Wilkins. Yes, they're still kind of wooden boxes, but at least they're not square.
Hmm.
In out of all of them, right? Like, let's see. Come on. Discover all speakers. Like something like this, right? Like the Sonetta series.
Hmm.
It's kind of flat up front, but they heavily are
Taper
tilted.
in, yeah.
Yeah, and the bookmarking they have on their wood is excellent.
Hmm.
Again, not for me, right? But if I don't know, let's say Thanos snap, right? B&O is gone tomorrow, and like it's out of my house. I would much rather look at something like this that is beautiful when it's not playing,
Hmm.
or at least not ugly. So there's all that sort of stuff, right? But like most, like Kef and stuff, like they're smaller bookshelf speakers. They sound good, but they look some weird version of plastic and wood, and
Hmm.
they're like, this looks like the upgraded speakers from the late 90s for in your car sort of thing, right? Like there's a
Hmm.
bullet on this, man. Like bullets, man. It's faster. It bangs harder.
It bangs harder. But yeah, it's I don't know. I've been around and lived with this stuff so long that I don't really see other brands sex appeal at all. Quite honestly, like I'm sure there's better things that sound better than B&O. They're more expensive than B&O, but at the end of the day, would you want to look at all that? I don't
Yeah.
think I don't appreciate looking at that. Open drivers or exposed drivers or a grill on, I don't care, but it's just, the subwoofer looks like a fucking nightstand.
That's probably what I would use it for. Just
You
put it
know,
next to the bed.
yeah.
Like that's one way to make sure that your cappuccino doesn't defoam in the morning. Like it just gets
Oh
shaken.
yeah. Oh yeah. But no, I'm not down with the conventional systems. I think the only place that I would run a conventional speaker is I would put the Dolby Atmos up, ceiling speakers, which again, those would be Origin acoustics, first of all. And second of all, I would still put the B&O grills on them. So they look sexy. But Origin acoustics sounds great, man. I have to
Yeah.
say, they really figured it out. They really figured it out with the in-ceiling stuff. Or in-wall altogether.
Yeah, I like them. It's just no reason to use them.
No, exactly. For you, it doesn't make sense. Unless you want to put some in your ceiling above the couch.
Yeah,
But
but then
you already have
where do I
17.
put all these 17s, right? Like,
That's exactly it.
like
Maybe
I
it's
like
time
my
to build
17.
another Atmos room, brother.
Atmos in the
in the bedroom.
God.
It's never too late.
Yeah, at that point, I would rather buy another set of these, right? Because, I mean, even for installation purposes, it's just easier.
It is. It is. No, get a pair of lap 3s and hardwire them. Put them on the wall bracket. That's impossible to screw on the wall without brain damage.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I haven't watched Steve's video yet.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance yet either. I'm gonna take a look at it.
I mean, I have been sort of following what's been going on there, and I have many thoughts about it, but I also know I'm not objective because I'm still friends with John.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that on a business thing, right? But especially since John left and kind of the whole YouTube thing fell on its ass, right? Like, I know from personal experience, so many people went to B&O Manchester literally because John was making YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy how that works, because people were going out of their way to go to B&O Manchester
to meet the guy.
Well, even sometimes ordering stuff over the phone, right? Like, hey, I'm in Cornwall. Can I buy some stuff from you? It's like, there's a dealer, like, I don't know, like 100 miles closer. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I watch John, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then there's the other thing where the current position Britain is in. B&O is getting very, very expensive for the European market.
Oh, really?
Well, it's not like Europe is. Look, my sister sent me an article, right? Like, where apparently the Dutch government is thinking about putting oil restrictions in, right? Like, you can't drive as fast or as much, or maybe not, only on odd days or something like that, because of this whole Strait of Hormuz thing.
Interesting.
So, I mean, when you start to need your money for more useful things like getting around, right?
And I'm sure the gas is insane in Europe now for price, because it's gone to shit here.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it over $2 a liter, which is unprecedented. I've never seen that. I've seen that in Vancouver before COVID. It went over $2 and then it all dropped. Like, it was insane. Nobody drove.
I mean, especially in our two countries, right? Since Canada and the US sits on so much oil, like, why the hell is it so expensive over here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if anything, Canada should be is nearly drowning in oil. Like, you have so much more than you could ever use.
Well, oil sands, it literally comes out of the earth on its own. So, but
back in the 70s, we had car-free Sundays in Denmark. Yeah, it's the same in the Netherlands, right? But it seems like with the current system, they say, don't worry, we have fuel for another 3 to 4 months. It's like, is that it?
That's not enough. That
Holy
sucks.
shit.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's several like famous pictures in the Netherlands, since everybody cycles, right, where they're just cycling on the highway because it's like it's car-free days and nobody's on the highway. Like, it's literally ghost town.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that would never fucking work in North America. Car-free Sunday, you're stuck at home all day. There's nowhere you can go. Well, here depends. Like downtown Montreal, yes, you can get around by walking because everything's so condensed, packed. But here, per se, not much. Like, you know, I'm 15 minutes to walk to the nearest grocery store, and I'm gonna go walk with the bags. No.
Yeah.
But
the
yeah,
Straits of Vermouth. Well, I guess somebody goes wonky when you
Straits of Vermouth. That's hilarious. The Straits of Vermouth. Oh
But yeah,
boy.
when stuff like that is going on, right? Like I agree, you're probably better off spending your money, maybe not on $80,000 or well dollar, yeah, or 60,000 euro speakers. Like,
Hmm.
and this is not even B&O's fault or lineup fault, right? Like this is, I guess, technically the government's fault here. Well, maybe not even technically, maybe explicitly.
Explicitly. Well, we'll see where that drags on to, because yeah, I kind of follow it, and I'm kind of not to try to follow it because it's just depressing. The news is always never good, no matter what news you watch.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? Like it's not. I'm. It's just. I hope that B&O like makes it through this because uh it's just we're in such weird, like we went from one weird situation into another, right? Like this whole COVID thing, and then this whole drop off of like nobody bought anything at all anymore, and then
Hmm.
somehow we had to like increase prices drastically, and then people started buying it again because it's exclusive, right? Like,
Hmm.
and in particular for the B&O realm of it, like I just, I don't know, maybe we were prophetic or something, but even at the time with the past CEO, where we, well, especially me, was saying like I kind of hope like this is not his like sort of playground, because he came from the, was it the Women's Tennis Players Association or something, and
Hmm.
that's how Caroline Wozniacki came, and then somehow we ended up in Formula One as a company, and it's like, oh, I just kind of want to, I don't know, sponsor something so I can go to races for free, and to then
Yeah,
find out like, oh, actually I can't be bothered to live in Denmark, right? Like,
and then just get a disgusting payout at the end.
yeah, it's like
Wasn't That's not fun.
yeah, it's like we've just been through so much unnecessary shit, some self-inflicted, some not so much, and it's like come on.
Yeah, and that's another thing, I guess, that if you follow the company for as long as we have, right? Some people have followed for longer than we have because they're older than us. But it's disappointing to see sometimes the directions. Like the heydays of, let's say, early 2000s, that was the greatest time for like B&O as far as the Masterlink, because they had everything plus the accessories. You could buy a keychain that turns on your house and lights and radio or TV, or you got coasters. You could buy a whole
Yeah,
bunch of stuff. Now there's not much of that swagger to begin with, and yeah, it's a little different than it came 2010, when they had like what, 4 TVs in portfolio, and 3 of them were, or 2 of them were BeoVision 4s. So they push through thick and thin, but I don't know. I see the brighter future now without that guy being there, even though I guess he's still kind of sorta there.
yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, look, we're not exactly rich, right? We're also very much not poor, but I would just hate for this hobby to sort of die with us, because it's getting to a point where like
Hmm.
thinking now of like, if you're now like in your, I don't know, early to mid 20s, unless you are in a very very comfy situation, there is no way you can get into this hobby like we did unless it's all secondhand. But then you
Hmm.
kind of have nothing to do with the company anyway, because they don't see any of that.
No, they don't really see you as a client to them, because
Well,
you
you're
kind of should
not,
know
right?
the
You're
other
not
stuff. Yeah.
buying anything from them, really. Like
So
maybe in Europe you have some contact with a dealer, but through their second hand or second life thing, which they still don't do here, which I find unfathomable.
hmm.
Like, how the hell is like any 5-year old speaker essentially scrap? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, here it's different a little bit.
I have a BV11 with ones, right? Like, I want to buy a theater. Can I trade in my BV11? No. It's like, what?
Hmm. But yeah, it's even when I got into it, it was like teetering on within the reach and within not the reach, right? Like obviously, like I couldn't afford the lap fives back then, but that's just what it was. I bought other stuff, but it was able to get into it. Like there was always a way to get into it. Now it's you either buy what the 11s are, what 700 Canadian or whatever, so like 500 US, or you pay what for 1500 or 1200 US for a pair of earbuds, the Grays,
Yeah.
which is a little steep, right? At least they sobered up with the soundbar deal. So the Premiere, like that's still, it's a very steep product, but it's a nice entry point at this point.
Yeah,
€1,000
I'm
is a lot of
so
difference.
happy they did that. Thank God somebody saw the sense in that. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
No, that was too much. They were asking too much for it, and you know, it basically was at the point where, well, fuck, like if I save a little bit more, I can just buy the theater and screw the Premiere, and then I have
Yeah.
full capability of a proper system, right? Where I'm not limited to just, you know, 4 DPL speakers that I, you know, have to buy because my 4000s that I got from whatever time no longer work with this shit. So yeah, there is good, right? So that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, as most of you here, right? We love this company unreasonably much, which I don't think they fully understand.
No. Well, I pretty much dedicated my life to B&O, not just as a fan, but in a spare time. Obviously, so is you. Like we've been doing this podcast for over 8 years now. You know, episode 380. That's 387th fucking Sunday, excluding the Mondays that we did for the whole Rona time. Remember when we
Yeah,
did the
that's
Twitch
another
podcast?
60 or something like that.
That's another 60 Mondays into that. So yeah, I don't see myself living without the company. So I hope that they last long enough that, you know, I hope that they outlive me.
Not just that, I hope I'll be able to afford them.
And that. So,
yeah, I mean, I want to be their customer, right? Like, God, like even like if like Sandeep said, maybe they're not spending that much on new stuff. Like, okay, make some trinkets. I want them all. Like, make me a new remote, please. Come on.
the remote is so overdue. It's not even funny. And honestly, like the control for Halo, because they also have a Halo remote. It's called, right?
Yeah.
It sits on the charging stand, and it's just a normal discipline. Like you fucking park the remote. You know where it always is because it's on the charger. And you know it works. Yes, it's Wi-Fi connected, all that. It's not as sexy, nowhere as near as sleek, and feels as good as the Bio Remote One. But you have two-way feedback. You can control the lights. You can do all that nonsense. You know, album art comes on from whatever radio station or Spotify track you're listening to. It's not the best because I'm used to the B&O and I have a huge bias on it. But there is a solution for B&O to do it. Like, they did the Halo, which there was a very understated remote. It was released too early. The software was shite. And at the end of the day, the only thing that would work, that makes the remote shine, is your another investment in a pro BLI to utilize a $1,000 piece.
Yeah.
This is very BeoSound 5 neck looking type of thing with Essence on top.
Yeah. I mean, and our render is making it. So if they can fucking make it, B&O, give me some of that shit. Because I still love your Essence, right? Like, you're not redesigning the wheel. I just want a few more of these that are modern. Like, give me like 4 My buttons on them.
4 My buttons, or even if the center ring was a touchscreen, like let's say the Nest thermostat per se, right?
Yeah.
But it just gives you the interface that yes, I can tap this, tap that. Maybe make it Qi charger compatible, so you can put it on your discontinued iPad, or charging pad from B&O, or buy a third-party one, I guess.
Well, if it's bigger like the one I just showed, right? If it fits the 4 AAAs, then you don't need to really charge it or anything like that, right? Because it's going to last you 2 years.
Or, well, depends if it's sitting on the network or not,
Yeah.
right? But still. I think they're
please.
overdue for the new remote.
Yeah, make a bunch of little shit. Like, God, maybe start selling the Christmas decorations, right? I love those.
Maybe
things.
revisit the idea of an alarm clock for the whole system, right? Maybe revisit the idea of the keyrings that you had that were. Yeah, I guess now would be a little different because you'd have the delay before it connects to the net to your Bluetooth, right? To execute the commands, I guess. But there are so many things that they can make that would just as accessories work.
I mean, if you really wanted to, right, start selling these old school store logos. I'd buy some. You make dealers buy them anyway. Like, allow me to buy that, please.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Like those silver that you have, right? I would buy that, even if it's just like $500 or something like that. Happy to buy it.
So nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Crowd. So yeah, these are spectacular.
God,
and then they attach like this.
Yeah.
So they're not cheap to make either, because like you spot weld everything and.
Yeah, okay. Well, name a price. Let me buy it.
Exactly. Well, I'm not doing that on mine, but yeah.
No, I understand, but like you have a whole catalog of the dealers must buy, right?
Yes.
Like you know that cabinet that they made everybody buy that is sort of triangular, like it's straight on the back, but then one side is longer, and it was for the record players and whatnot. I want to be able to buy that. Like, I don't know what it costs. I asked once, and it comes from some supplier that, as a dealer, you must buy your shit from. It's like, okay, how much is it? Well, we don't know. It's a must buy, and we just have to give them money, and somehow it arrives. It's like, okay, I want one. Yeah, we can't do that. It's like, oh, come on.
I know. No, even the one thing it was saved, but somebody else took it, was the push handle from B&O, right, on the B&O stores.
Yeah.
I wish I got that, but that's from another store again.
I mean, I'm just throwing out shit here that like all of us idiots would buy instantly, right? All these little trinkets.
The bloody Bio time that is limited to freaking 2,000 whatever, right, for the employees. Why would you just do that? You know what I mean? And then it sells for stupid money that you could have made anyways on eBay or off of whatever. So a B&O lighter wouldn't be bad. Like ST DuPont branded B&O lighter would be sweet. I would buy that.
Yeah. I mean,
they used to have big lighters that were branded, but that's 90s.
I mean, if that clock was $500 or something like that, I would probably have bought it.
Done. By now, it'd be hanging here ticking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they make it for less than that. So,
but speaking of clicking and ticking, we're over time.
Oh, okay.
So let's wrap up this episode and.
In that case, B&O B-Lab 18 pens.
That's it.
Goddamn pens, man.
Sent to drop one off too.
Write your dealers that you want this shit, because they have to then pass it on to headquarters. Or if you know anybody at headquarters, like, hello, Christian, let us buy all this shit.
That's it.
So, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great week. Stay safe, have fun, listen to your B&O, write your dealers, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye. Thanks for watching.